Our brief was just simple to create more reading space, but we felt we needed to do more to bring people back to libraries. Otherwise, libraries are, at the brim of extinction. When I started my practice, the ultimate the focus is to do quality design, and then we wanted to do something different in Penang. So it's always whatever we do, we try our best to redefine how things are usually perceived here. So when we started on the digital library, we really wanted to leave an impact for community to come and experience architecture. Our client is CMI, so phase 2 came about because phase 1 was always crowded, filled to the brim. They went 24 hours and still getting really overwhelming response. So phase 2, the brief we got was quite simple, just need to create more reading space. And then when we first visited site, I was very taken by the large trees at the back. And there's this whole ambience, very unique park-like, because there's a lot of trees and you can hear birds chirping in the background. So that's the instant thing that hit me. And even before we finished the whole site tour, I made a mental note. I said, okay, we have to keep all the trees. I also decided that the mansion has to stay, the old bungalow has to stay. It was abandoned at that point, not in a very perfect shape, but I felt that it's really important to keep the old building, because library is about stories to tell, and keeping the building will be, a great story to tell for all the future, patrons, the communities that come. With that inspiration of trees, I came down to this whole idea of library in the park, because I always like reading, under the trees. I'm quite an outdoor person. I prefer outdoor than aircon spaces. The client was very supportive. They love it. So we just went, all the way to really enforce this whole garden park kind of experience in reading. So as you walk through all the reading spaces, at every point in the building, you can see trees and garden, both sides. There's always this visual connectivity everywhere you look. So we hope with that we made a difference in terms of reading experience.
So can you tell me a bit about the design process of this project?
We made a model. I brought them to site. We studied the morning sun, study how the shadow casted on the model. So I had a hypothesis that, if done well, I wanted the shadow of the trees casted on the lawn. So we wanted the new annex not to compete with the bungalow. We wanted to stay really in a quiet, elegant presence with the trees in the surrounding. So with that, we pushed back the reading space, the new block, and then we felt we needed to have that embracing feel. So it's like stacking of two books, and then we fan out the other side. Actually, then when we presented the client, it was added on, and they said it felt like two books. I said, yeah, it's almost there, but so it's really two books, and then some say, oh, it's two iPads fanning out. So that's why we make sure the proportion of this new annex is as thin as possible, and it's never higher than the existing bungalow. So there's a control of height, and then when come down to the hall, that's where we stagger to one floor. In a way, we were very careful and very sensitive to how we intervene with this new building. The conscious check that we always do is to make sure it's not louder than the old building. It's always more a very quiet presence, but you can feel it, and it's like a homage to the original bungalow that sits in the ground. It was early decision, and it never changed. It was a very simple design approach. We said, okay, that's how we should do it, and from there we just start on this fast track journey to just quickly get it detailed, and then build. The whole construction duration was 10 months. We wanted to celebrate the whole reading ambience. If you walk through the whole library, you can find different positions of sitting. Like, we are sitting on the deck, you can read in the garden on the deck, you can read at the normal table height, you can read on the lounge sofa, at the bay window, at the private pot, at the balcony area or in the open space. One of the key focus was we wanted the new phase 2 to focus on family, so that parents can bring young children. Young children can just go run loose on the lawn, and then parents can relax around, chat with friends, and grandparents can come.
When I arrived this morning, I was very surprised. It was 8 o'clock in the morning, and you've got a lot of high school kids that's actually starting to stream into the library.
8, okay, that's early.
8 o'clock in the morning. So that shows how popular this place is. When I went upstairs just now, it was literally full. That's my first time seeing a library being packed, and this being a public library in Penang, I think it's something very special.
That's also, we had this whole aspiration to really impact and influence how the community works with our simple intervention. We really designed this for the people, so we make sure we cater to the young crowd. And we have something for, that's why we created booth reading, exciting new trends, that you can see in airport lounge, business centers.
Yes.
And then the best part is we like that this is a public building by the state and it's free for all. So that way itself, it bridged that gap, from all backgrounds. Everyone can enjoy this. So we understand clearly that when you say digital library, there's no physical books in the building. But we felt the need to redefine library space like how it used to be. We used to gather, meet friends at the library before cafe trend starts to boom. We really think that the current library, the digital library, needs to have nice, cozy spaces, relatable spaces for the young to come. Those days, conventional libraries has a lot of bookshelves, and in a way, we can't really bring the sun in because pages turn yellow very fast. So the moment we have this freedom of no bookshelves, no physical shelves for no physical books, then there's so much space that is freed up, and we instantly use all the extra space for reading space, for books, for interaction in groups. And then we start opening up the windows on both sides of the building, because now with no physical constraint of the books, the lights can come in. So we really base the internal space with a lot of natural light, and we make sure that there's this option. If they need task lighting, they can switch it on at every sitting spot, and the artificial lights are meant for evening. One of the strategies that we adopt is to make sure the building orientates in a good way towards the sun. So one of the first thing we notice is the existing bungalow. The facing is really brilliant, that is facing morning sun in the perfect orientation. So in the morning, the facade is really lit up, really so nicely done. And with that, we ensured the annex orientation received the best evening glow. So during sunset, the whole lighting, the whole facade behaves differently. During sunset, that sunset glow will come and cast this whole beautiful orange glow to the new annex. So itself, you come in the morning, you see different things. You come by sunset and evening, it's different. So we like that the architecture changes from morning to night.
How about night?
You should come and see, and at night it just shocks you because it behaves differently. That's why we also wanted the lawn to has this whole basin to capture the shadow. Somehow we felt that I didn't want trees in the lawn because it obstructs the view. So how do we get that ambience of trees? So by celebrating the shadow. So we made this empty basin of the lawn so that the shadow can come down. So you're there, there's no trees, but you felt the presence of the trees. We also want to really bring back the whole love of reading, so that we thought, reading in the park. So that's hopefully, that whole romantic idea of it can trigger more passion for reading. And we thought, even though just as architects, I think we can actually leave an impact if we, have that conscious planning from the beginning.